Picture this. You're 14, walking home from school, just another day. Maybe you're thinking about homework, maybe you're excited for dinner, then out of nowhere, your whole world flips. That's exactly what happens to Abby Hernandez. 1 minute she's there, the next she's gone. For 9 months, she's held prisoner in a storage container by a man she's forced to call master. But here's the thing, Abby isn't just a victim, she's a fighter. How did she make it out alive? Let's recap. Abby Hernandez is just your typical 14-year-old freshman at Kennett High School in North Conway, New Hampshire. She's bubbly, friendly, and loves hanging out with her friends and family. That Wednesday, she's sitting through classes, probably counting down the minutes until she can head home. At 2:30, she walks out the school doors, just like always, and starts the short walk back to her house. It's a route she's taken 100 times before, except one thing is a little different today. Her feet are killing her. She's wearing a new pair of shoes, and by the time the final bell rings, she's already getting blisters. Walking home is the last thing she wants to do. So when a car pulls up alongside her, it feels like a bit of luck. The man inside looks ordinary, even nice, and he offers her a ride. Abby hesitates for a second, but her feet hurt so bad she figures, why not? Nothing bad ever happens in her little town, so she climbs in and tells him where to go. But almost immediately, the mood shifts. Moments after they pull away, he reaches for something. A gun. He points it at her and says, "If you scream, I'll shoot." Abby freezes. Her heart is racing, but she keeps her cool. This man, Nathaniel Kibby, doesn't tell her his name. Instead, he handcuffs her and breaks her phone with his bare hands. She's less than a mile from her house. She knows she's in serious trouble, but panicking won't help. For 28 miles, Abby sits frozen in the passenger seat, her mind racing. She knows she has to stay calm. Any sudden movements could set him off. Meanwhile, Nate is driving farther and farther from the familiar streets of North Conway, heading deep into the dense woods surrounding the area. Finally, he stops at his property, an isolated, run-down trailer with an old storage container sitting nearby. He orders Abby out of the car, still holding the gun. Her legs feel like they might give out, but she does as he says. He leads her to the storage unit, and the second she steps inside, her stomach drops. It's dark, cramped, and suffocating. This isn't just a hiding spot. It's a prison. Nate wastes no time establishing control. He binds her, blindfolds her, and lays out the rules. Any disobedience, any attempt to escape, and he won't hesitate to kill her. He backs it up with his fists. This isn't an empty threat. As the hours turn into days, Abby's world shrinks to the confines of that container. Nate puts her through relentless abuse, physical, emotional, and psychological. But Abby isn't giving up. Even in her darkest moments, she's watching, thinking, and praying. Back at Abby's house, her mom, Xenia, is spiraling into panic. Abby should have been home hours ago, and this isn't like her. By 7 that night, the police are called, and the search begins. But almost immediately, there's a theory floating around. Did Abby run away? She's 14, they say. Maybe she got upset about something and decided to leave. But Xenia knows better. Abby wouldn't do that. She's turning 15 in 3 days. They just spent all week planning every detail of her party. Just that afternoon, she was taking selfies in science class with her best friend. Abby wasn't in a dark place, but she is now. He threatened to kill her family and pets if she tried anything funny. When Abby noticed wires on the door, Nate told her they were rigged to set the room on fire. If anyone tried to open the door to save her, she'd instantly go up in a ball of flames. A tiny light blinked at her from a corner of the ceiling. "It's a security camera," he told her. "I'm always watching you." Meanwhile, just days after Abby is reported missing, the FBI gets involved. Agents go door to door in North Conway, questioning neighbors, searching properties, and following up on leads. The entire town comes together, putting up flyers, organizing search parties, and doing whatever they can to help. But as the days turn into weeks, the hope of finding Abby starts to dim. There are no solid leads, no witnesses, and no evidence. It's like she's vanished into thin air. Abby's smart. She knows her best chance of survival is to make Nate see her as more than just a victim. So she starts talking to him, testing the waters, keeping it small. She tells him She doesn't judge him, saying things like, "You don't seem like a bad person. Everyone makes mistakes." Everything she says is a strategic move to stay alive. Through it all, Abby leans on her faith. Trapped in that dark, suffocating storage container, she prays constantly, asking God for strength and a way out. She never says amen because, as she later explains, "I didn't want God to leave me." Her prayers are her anchor, her lifeline, helping her endure the abuse and mind games. While she builds a fragile rapport with Kibby, listening to his rants and feeding his ego, her prayers are her silent rebellion. They remind her she's still Abby, still fighting, and there's a world waiting for her outside. Her unshakable belief that she'll make it out alive becomes her greatest weapon. Weeks go by and Xenia is consumed by the search for Abby. She's driving around town, following strangers who look like her daughter, desperate for any clue. In all the chaos, the mail piles up, but one day she finally checks it, and on top is a letter from Abby. Her heart stops. She rips it open, and inside, Abby writes, "Dear Mom, I miss you and love you more than you can imagine. I'm sorry I did this. I've seen the newspaper and TV reports, and to answer your questions, yes, I'm alive. I miss you, Mom, but I won't tell you where I am." It's Abby's handwriting, but Xenia knows it's not really her daughter talking. Someone forced her to write this. Still, it's a glimmer of hope. Abby is alive. But the letter puts the police in a tough spot. If they publish it, they risk exposing Abby if she managed to send it secretly. But if they keep it quiet, they might miss a crucial lead. In the end, they decide to release it to the public, hoping it might bring in new information. But instead of bringing clarity, it stirs up confusion and backlash. Some people read the letter and jump to the conclusion that Abby ran away, even though her family and investigators quickly recognize it for what it is: a forced message likely dictated by her captor. The clock is ticking. Desperate, every passing minute feels like one step closer to losing her for good. Meanwhile, Abby is playing the long game. Her play nice strategy is starting to pay off. One day, Nate hands her a cookbook to keep her occupied. Flipping through the pages, she spots something, a name scribbled on one of them: Nate Kibby. Without hesitation, Abby asks, "Who is Nate Kibby?" Nate freezes. For a second, he seems thrown off. "How do you know my name?" he snaps. Somehow, this moment works in Abby's favor. Learning his name seems to shift something in Nate. His guard lowers just enough for him to start including her in parts of his life. Eventually, he reveals one of his secrets. He's running a counterfeit money operation. Nate enlists her help, and Abby, always thinking on her feet, goes along with it. Surprisingly, she turns out to be pretty good at the fake money gig. It's another calculated move on her part. The more useful she seems to him, the more likely he is to keep her alive. As it turns out, this fake money is about to save her life. By summer 2014, Nate's counterfeit scheme blows up. He gives a friend fake 50s to pay for a hotel, but when she uses one of the fake bills at Walmart, they spot it immediately. Furious and embarrassed, she calls Nate and warns him, "Whatever you're making in your basement, clean it up. The cops are coming for you." She has no idea he's been holding Abby captive for 9 months. And that's not his only brush with the law. Back in March, after a minor car accident, Nate followed a man home, shoved his wife in their driveway, and started taking photos of their car. When police showed up, they arrested him and found a pistol on him. Later, Nate actually demanded his gun back, claiming his rights were violated. This coming from the guy who has a teenager locked in a container on his property. Then, in July 2014, Nate suddenly decides to let her go. Maybe it's paranoia from the counterfeit scheme blowing up, or maybe it's the heat from his earlier arrest, but he starts getting nervous. On July 20th, after 9 agonizing months, he puts Abby in his car, blindfolds her, and drives her back to North Conway. Stopping just outside town, he orders her out of the car, gives her a warning not to tell anyone who he is, then drives off. Abby walks the rest of the way home barefoot, shaken, but alive. Security cameras outside her mother's house catch the moment she walks in the door wearing the same sweater and pants she vanished in. She's dehydrated, thinner, and very tired, and her nightmare isn't over yet. She's terrified. She doesn't tell police her captor's name right away. For a week, she keeps quiet, afraid that Nate Kibby might make good on his threats if she speaks out. But eventually, she finds the courage to tell them everything. Police arrest Nate 8 days after Abby's return, and her 9-month nightmare finally comes to an end. In May 2016, Nate Kibby was sentenced to 45 to 90 years in prison, where he'll spend the rest of his life paying for what he did. As for Abby, she's moved forward with her life in the best way possible. Her story was turned into the movie The Girl in the Shed. But these days, she's living a quiet, happy life as a mom and a hairdresser. She's grateful for the simple things: fresh air, freedom, and just being alive. As she puts it, just don't lose hope. Even when you feel like you've lost everything, hope is something nobody can take away from you. Words to live by, don't you think? What would you have done if you were in Abby's situation? Could you have kept calm like she did? Let's talk about it in the comments. And if you like getting all the crime in half the time, be sure to give this a like and subscribe so you never miss a story. I'm Chris. Amy and I are here 3 times a week with new recaps. And if you want to spend a little more time with us, check out our membership options to join our conversation about other crazy cases. See you soon.